Liverpool's transfer plans have taken a dramatic twist, and big names are now in the frame. Subscribe now for instant Liverpool breaking news, exclusive updates, and match reactions straight from Anfield.
News headline: Liverpool transfer news as two Marc Guehi alternatives emerge, an $81 million Real Madrid ace linked. Liverpool transfer news as two supposed alternatives to Man City-bound Marc Guehi emerge, and it is that time of the month when Eduardo Camavinga is linked with the Reds. Liverpool produced some unwanted history against Burnley in the Premier League this weekend, as the Reds failed to beat a third newly promoted team at Anfield in the space of one season. Never before has a Liverpool side done that, with Arne Slot's men toiling in attack. Florian Wirtz was excellent, but a few others toiled, and the Reds never moved more than one goal in front. Could the January market provide the answer? Here is the Liverpool.com verdict on the transfer gossip to emerge around the Reds today, with a delay until the summer likelier at this stage. Marc Guehi alternatives. Liverpool never intended to go back in for Manchester City-bound Marc Guehi in January. It will instead make moves for Alessandro Bastoni of Inter Milan and Nico Schlotterbeck of Borussia Dortmund in the summer, according to Team Talk. In the summer, Virgil van Dijk will be set to enter the final year of his contract, while Ibrahima Konate, as things stand, will be leaving as a free agent, and Joe Gomez cannot necessarily be relied on to play without picking up various setbacks. Giovanni Leone is a very well-regarded young center-back, but he will only have played once during his debut campaign at the club because of the long-term injury he sustained against Southampton in the League Cup. Product description: Rennes' Jeremy Jacquet, a 20-year-old defender, appears to be heading to Chelsea this month. He is another who has been linked with a move to Liverpool in some quarters. Centre-back, given the potential exits in the summer and lack of options as it is, will be a priority for Liverpool to resolve in 2026, though those plans might have to be delayed until the end of the season. Liverpool.com says, signing a centre-back this month would be ideal, or the Reds will be taking a gamble. Getting the right player, however, is important. It can't just be anyone to fill the position short-term but not be good enough in the long run. Eduardo Camavinga, Real Madrid. We are officially at that point in the transfer window when the Spanish outlet Fichajes links Liverpool with a transfer move for the $81 million, £61 million rated Real Madrid and France midfielder Eduardo Camavinga. Having the physical and technical skill set to thrive in the Premier League, Camavinga ending up in England at some point does not seem impossible. However, he has never shown any interest in leaving La Liga before. Camavinga is still only 23, but he has started just 5 times in the league this season under Xabi Alonso. With the Spanish head coach having moved on, however, things could change. It is quite possible that Camavinga could become a well-used favorite again under Alvaro Arbeloa. Another appointment is expected to come in the summer, which could change things again. Liverpool.com says, signing a holding midfielder could be a sensible decision from the Reds to upgrade on Wataru Endo. At the moment, Ryan Gravenberch is the only option who Arne Slot really trusts.
News headline: Steven Gerrard reaction to Liverpool draw with Burnley speaks volumes in Arne Slot warning. Liverpool took the lead against Burnley in the first half through Florian Wirtz, but Marcus Edwards' 65th-minute equalizer was enough to earn the Clarets a point. Steven Gerrard said that Liverpool's recent draws with Leeds and Burnley at home are not acceptable for the club. The Reds' 1-1 draw with Burnley on Saturday stretched the team's unbeaten run to 12 games in all competitions, but 6 of those games ended in draws, including 4 of the last 5. Liverpool took the lead against Burnley in the first half through Florian Wirtz, but Marcus Edwards' 65th-minute equalizer was enough to earn the Clarets a point. That won't be acceptable, a draw with Burnley at home, with all due respect, Steven Gerrard said on TNT Sports. If you're being critical of the Liverpool team, even though they're on a better run in terms of unbeaten games, the draws to the likes of Leeds and Burnley at home, that's not acceptable. There will be a lot of criticism that comes the manager's way again, but give the manager credit. The last time we spoke about this, you asked me if the team was in a crisis, and I said I didn't think it was in a crisis because I felt like this manager was capable of making things better and steadying the ship. He has moved the team from the middle of the table and up back into the Champions League positions. I think that will be a priority for him and the team, minimum top 4 this season, but that won't take anything away from the criticism that will come his way. Liverpool head coach Slot was of the opinion that his team created enough chances to win the game against Burnley and feels as though it should have done so. "We should have won this game," Slot said. "There was not a lot I could ask more in terms of chance creation. We have a lot of ball possession, but I would love us to create more. If we play a bit more open, you always wonder if the other team can counterattack you more," which he couldn't. "I don't know how many moments we had, but we could only score one. I wouldn't say we switched off, but we failed to bring the ball out from the back. That is part of football. It sums up a large part of our season, and today was another example of that." News headline: Liverpool transfer news. Marc Guehi deal sealed as Reds turn attention to $48 million star Nico Schlotterbeck. News and details. Liverpool have seemingly missed out on snapping up Marc Guehi, and Arne Slot has reportedly turned his focus elsewhere for defensive reinforcements in the January transfer window. The January transfer window is in full swing, but Liverpool have made very little movement thus far, despite snapping up Tala Nadaya from Amity and letting James Norris make way to Shelbourne. However, with problems still running riot in the heart of their defense, Arne Slot would be wise to get a move on to ensure the best possible finish in 2025-26. While any hope of defending the Premier League title they won last year have now been all but dashed, currently fourth in the standings and 14 points behind Mikel Arteta's leading Arsenal, it appears as though Liverpool will look to prioritize securing European football for 2026-27. However, the club hit a slight stumbling block on Saturday afternoon when they were held to a 1-1 draw with Burnley in front of the Kop. As a result, Reds fans worldwide may hope for movement ahead of the February 2 deadline to spark inspired performances. Here, Mirror Football breaks down some of the latest transfer news and rumors surrounding Liverpool. Marc Guehi transfer sealed. In an ideal world, Liverpool's $35 million deal with Crystal Palace on deadline day would have gone according to plan, with the Reds bolstering their backline with arguably one of England's best centre-backs. However, fate had other plans for the 25-year-old Eagles skipper. A deal between the two clubs collapsed at the 11th hour, with Liverpool forced to, once more, rely on a pairing of Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate for the season, given a long-term ACL injury sustained by Giovanni Lawani on his debut against Southampton in the Carabao Cup in September. While Guehi has continued to find himself linked with Liverpool this month, given that his contract at Selhurst Park expires this summer, it now appears as though he is set to sign for rivals Manchester City instead. Pep Guardiola's Blues emerged as top contenders following injuries to Ruben Diaz and Josko Gvardiol, although Liverpool were still thought to be in the mix. That changed this week, however, when Oliver Glasner let slip in his pre-match press conference for Saturday's clash with Sunderland the centre-back was close to a deal, although refused to mention with which club. The Austrian said, "My latest understanding is that the deal with Marc is in the final stages. I cannot confirm the club because it's still not done, but in the final stages, and the result is that Marc doesn't play for us tomorrow." It is now said Guehi will have a medical with Manchester City on Sunday ahead of a $30 million move to the Etihad Stadium, leading Liverpool back to the drawing board. Interest in a $50 million Bundesliga star. Graham Bailey confirmed in December that Liverpool had held talks with Nico Schlotterbeck's representatives regarding a move to the Premier League, and with Guehi seemingly out of the frame, the Reds may pile on the pressure to snap up the Borussia Dortmund talent this month. Sources claimed the centre-back is on Liverpool's shortlist alongside Inter Milan's Alessandro Bastoni, and that he is not looking to sign a new contract with the Bundesliga giants as he pursues a move instead. The 26-year-old is thought to hold a price tag of around $50 million at present, and given he has already proven himself in the Champions League, could be exactly what Liverpool are looking for moving forward.
News headline: Liverpool chant speaks volumes as Dominic Szoboszlai frustration clear. 5 talking points versus Burnley. Florian Wirtz did his best, but Liverpool struggled to create many chances against a resolute Burnley who leveled through Marcus Edwards. This is what we spotted. Anfield, Liverpool. Florian Wirtz was the standout performer for Liverpool, but Arne Slot was left frustrated again as side failed to move far enough ahead in the game and was punished. Midfielder Dominic Szoboszlai missed a first-half penalty won by Cody Gakpo, who was adjudged to have been brought down inside the area. The Hungarian, though, didn't look set to be made to pay for hitting the bar, because Wirtz broke the deadlock before the halfway point. Marcus Edwards drew Burnley level, however, when the Reds didn't extend their lead. Here are the 5 things Liverpool.com spotted as the game unfolded. Florian Wirtz stands out.
Scott Parker's last visit to Anfield came when his Bournemouth team lost 9-0 to Liverpool in August 2022, but Arne Slot can only dream of such free-flowing, attacking play at the moment. Liverpool has been accused of being boring for much of the last month or so, even while results have improved, and the last time the Reds played at home in the Premier League, it struggled to break down the low block of Leeds United. Wirtz disappointed with his performance on that occasion, though it turned out that he was playing through a minor injury issue, and here it was the 22-year-old who should have been able to make the difference. After Szoboszlai's penalty miss, Wirtz was the man to find a way through the Burnley defense. His shot just before halftime was well placed and unstoppable from close range, but he was a live wire before that too, a creative hub. By far, Wirtz was the best of those in a Liverpool jersey. He just needed a bit more from those around him, with the crowd's chants of attack, attack, attack speaking volumes. Wirtz was doing his best, but those around him either didn't have enough quality in possession or enough movement. Burnley was always going to play this way, but that seemed to surprise a few, the former Bayer Leverkusen ace aside. Curtis Jones heading in the right direction. Curtis Jones was selected ahead of Alexis Mac Allister here, likely because of the Champions League game coming up midweek and then the trip to Bournemouth, with rotation in mind. And it was hard to work out exactly where he was playing. Starting on the right, Jones then popped up in the center and on the left. It was his calm pass to Wirtz that saw Liverpool move ahead on the day. After a slowish start to the game, he got into things much more, playing the ball into Gakpo when he was fouled for the penalty too. With a far from unlimited number of midfield options for Slot to choose from at the moment, there is absolutely a starting place to be nailed down for Jones. This was another mainly good performance after a good few weeks for the Liverpool number 17. He wasn't as good as Wirtz here, but like Bjergman, needed a bit more help from the movement of those around him. Hugo Ekitike offers latest glimpse. Back in for his first start since January 1st, Hugo Ekitike offered more of a focal point up top for Liverpool. His relationship with Wirtz is really coming along, and there are real signs that he can link things cleverly. There was never going to be loads of space to run into here, but Ekitike is a technically gifted number 9. He can finish well and has no issues with linking things up, especially with players making good runs around him. He has the potential to be the full package. On this occasion, he threatened to ignite the game without ever properly managing to. Still, it was a decent showing. The lack of movement was more from the midfielders and wide men than him. Milos Kerkez improving. While he wasn't perfect and he was booked for a late tackle, this was another good step in the right direction for Milos Kerkez. The summer $54 million, £40 million addition has taken some time to settle in, but has really looked more composed in recent games. Here, Kerkez got into some great positions down the left flank. Early on, he should have shot when he tried to cross, and some of his balls into the box were a little hopeful, but he was direct and full of purpose throughout. There is still a lot more to come, clearly, and he still needs to work on his relationship with Cody Gakpo, who should have passed to him more on the outside, but this was a good performance from him and a positive to take away. Premier League chance missed. Manchester United beat Manchester City, and deservedly, in the Old Trafford Derby earlier in the day, moving ahead of Liverpool in the Premier League standings. With Chelsea hosting Brentford, at least one of those teams had to drop points. It was the Bees. Meanwhile, Newcastle United plays Wolves tomorrow in a game that it will almost certainly win. The race for the Champions League spots is hotting up, and for that reason, Liverpool, playing what should be, on paper, one of its easiest matches of the season at home to Burnley, along with Wolves, the worst side in the division, simply had to win. That it couldn't was far from a good sign.
News headline: Liverpool to launch bid for €70 million Real Madrid signing, with Interstar up next. News in details. Liverpool are preparing to move for Real Madrid star Eduardo Camavinga, a report has claimed, while the Reds are also aiming to sign an Inter Milan defender after missing out on Marc Guehi. Liverpool's $35 million deal with Guehi collapsed on deadline day last summer, forcing them to postpone such plans. They were hoping to capture him on a free transfer this summer, but he is instead poised to join Manchester City in a $20 million January deal.
Reports suggest Liverpool could transform their team with the signings of Camavinga and a top-class alternative to Guehi. Latest Eduardo Camavinga to Liverpool claims. Liverpool have set their sights on Madrid midfielder Camavinga and are ready to launch a bid for him this month, Spanish outlet Fichajes claim. Liverpool owners Fenway Sports Group, FSG, have supposedly identified Camavinga as their coveted target to give the midfield a definitive leap in quality. The Frenchman's future at Madrid is uncertain following the sacking of Xabi Alonso, and Liverpool sense an opportunity to strike. The report claims Madrid could sell Camavinga if a bid worth 70 to 80 million euros, 61 to 69 million pounds, arrives in January. While Fichajes is not one of Spain's most reliable news outlets, our transfer insider Graham Bailey confirmed on December 31st that Liverpool are indeed long-term admirers of Camavinga. We understand the 23-year-old is not looking to leave Madrid, though whether he gets the final say remains to be seen. Reports claimed on Friday that Camavinga is among 4 players Madrid president Florentino Perez is open to selling. Reds initiate new defensive plans. Liverpool view Alessandro Bastoni as a potential solution to their defensive problems after watching Guehi head elsewhere. Sources have confirmed to us that Inter Milan star Bastoni is on Liverpool's shortlist, alongside Borussia Dortmund's Nico Schlotterbeck. Team Talks Bailey revealed on December 20th that Bastoni is open to leaving Inter this summer for an elite club such as Liverpool. Those close to the Italian state that he is ready to try his hand abroad and that 2026 is going to be a big year for him. However, Inter rate Bastoni incredibly highly and will not sell him on the cheap. It will likely take a huge 80 million euros, 69.5 million pounds bid to bring the stopper to England. Second centre-back target. Bastoni is not the only left-sided centre-half Liverpool are eyeing, as they are also keeping close tabs on Schlotterbeck. The German is refusing to pen a new contract at Dortmund, setting up a major move this year. We revealed on December 8th that Liverpool have opened talks with Schlotterbeck's entourage. According to an update from German journalist Christian Falk, Bayern Munich have ended their pursuit of Schlotterbeck, making a move to the Premier League or Barcelona more likely. This comes after Real Madrid cooled their interest in the 26-year-old earlier this week. News headline: Liverpool agreement emerges over transfer reunion with former star available for free. Liverpool have been told triggering a deal to clinch Harry Wilson's return to Anfield would be a good decision. The Fulham star came through the Reds academy and spent 17 years at the club, but made just 2 first-team appearances throughout his tenure. After several impressive loans in the Championship with Hull City, Derby County, and Fulham, the Wales international secured a permanent move to the Cottagers in 2021 in a $12 million transfer. Currently in his 5th season at Craven Cottage, the 28-year-old is enjoying the best season of his career with 7 goals and 4 assists to his name, with Fulham sitting 10th in the Premier League table, but just 5 points off Liverpool in 4th. Wilson's productivity, coupled with Liverpool's troubles on the right flank, have led to conversations whether the reigning champions could look to their former player, who is a free agent at the end of the season. Fulham boss Marco Silva revealed that the club are talking to Wilson's camp ahead of the expiry of his contract, but a return to Anfield has been described as a shrewd move from the Reds. That is according to ex-Liverpool star Stefan Henchos and Sam Allardyce. Speaking to Hyper, the ex-Switzerland international said, "Harry Wilson is an interesting one for Liverpool. When a player is available on a free transfer, it makes the decision very different. Wilson could also be an option, but it always depends on the club hierarchy, the directors, who they think is the best player or profile, and the strategy. Is it really only to take players and bring performance, or does the player have a resale value, which usually most clubs like to do? That's probably what Liverpool have done with Milos Kerkez, Hugo Ekitike, Jeremy Frimpong, and even Alexander Isak. They all have a resale potential in 18 months or 2 years." Henchos' stance was one echoed by Sam Allardyce, who claimed Wilson's game can go up another level should he return to Liverpool because of the sheer talent he'll be surrounded by. Speaking on the Footy Accumulator's No Tippy Tappy Football podcast, the ex-West Ham and Newcastle boss said, "I won't be surprised if he's already getting calls from other clubs already. No doubt about that, especially when he's free. He's experienced Liverpool and they ended up moving him on, so to go back to a bigger club than Fulham, returning to Liverpool, for example, it'll be great to see if he can translate that high quality of play into that team. With better players, he should get even more support and be even better.
It's whether he can handle the pressure of the bigger club. Wilson certainly showed Arne Slot what he's capable of when scoring against his former club in the 2-2 draw in West London earlier this month.